machine isn't working.
I hereby announce that this meeting is being held in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Open Meeting Act. Proper notice of meeting dates has been given to the Morris News Beat, the Morris County Daily Record, and posted on the bulletin board in Borough Hall. Roll call, please.
Okay? Mrs. Doherty?
Present.
Mr. Drutzler?
Present.
Mr. Lombardi?
Present.
Mr. McAleer?
Present.
And Mrs. Stecker? Present.
Karen, I know sent out the minutes. Any concerns from the commission regarding the minutes from the November 3rd meeting?
I move that the minutes of November 3rd be approved as circulated.
Second.
All in favor? Roll call? Okay? Mrs. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Drutzler?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardi?
Yes.
Mr. McAleer?
Yes.
And Mrs. Stecker?
Yes.
I open the comments from the public section of this meeting. Seeing as there are none, I close that part of the meeting. I just wanted to pass out regarding the budget.
Thank you.
So this covers where we are based on the 25 budget in the year-to-date spend column and what I've put together as a request for 26. Budget stays pretty much flat with a slight increase year versus year. The biggest change is Arbor Day. In the past, we've done saplings to the schools. This year's saplings did not turn out very well, and which is an understatement, and arrived pretty much, I would say, 80% brown. So that's the biggest change year versus year, where especially with the 100-year anniversary of the borough, we're going to be doing plantings at the park and at the school with a commemorative plaque. That's the reason for the increase there. Besides that, pretty much everything else is in line to where we are currently. And then who do I give this back to?
Well, you give it back to Anna.
Okay.
You can,
Okay, but it's not till January. Okay,
okay?
that's fine.
Are we supposed to be voting on this budget, or, I hadn't seen it before tonight, so I might need some more time, but what's the timeline? When do we need to vote on it by?
I believe that what it is really and truly, it's basically staying the same as last year, it's just increasing slightly. And I would like, if I can say, Arbor Day, the figure that we used, that was dispersed, that is so small because they very nicely did not charge us for all the seedlings, which would have made it almost up to 400, okay?
Let me just add to Arbor Day, as I'm on the Arbor Day committee. The principal, Christine, would like to plant a tree, because next year is 50 years that we're Tree City USA, and it's the 100th anniversary. And so I think that is falling into place. It was also suggested that we might do, since it's the 100th anniversary and 50 years of our Tree City US, might do a Arbor Day ceremony at Borough School also. So, that's still in the thought process, so, and that's why that number is what it is. That should be able to get a good tree and also a plaque at each spot.
To clarify, Frank, I wasn't talking about the Arbor Day line in particular, I was talking about the whole budget.
Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm all for, I think the Arbor Day celebration sounds great. I think that's a wonderful idea.
I believe what will happen here is if you have any comments, you should get them to the chairman. Review the budget so he can tell, our, chief finance officer that everything is okay.
When do we need to have our
Well, I
comments in
would say
by?
I think as soon as he can, you know, because it goes in January, what it says. And
January
usually this
16th.
goes to the chairman, but sometimes it's nice to discuss, which Mike shared with everyone. So if you'd like to increase it or something, let Mike know.
Okay, so we don't have to vote on the budget, it's just the chairman that's making the decision?
Well, with the guidance of the board, commissioners. Okay?
Okay.
So Michael, do you want comments by the 22nd? Would that be enough time to, in case there's any questions about it?
Sure, that would be fine.
Okay.
I mean, there was a lot of pushback about our budget last year and how we were calculating the numbers, which I've mentioned a lot of times. So, I mean, just looking at this in front of me, I don't have any like particular problem with any number that I recognize, and I'm not trying to be problematic, but I think we should maybe put a little bit of thought into how it is that we are arriving at these numbers, not just rolling things over. And I think there is thought. I'd like an explanation, you know, like a line-by-line explanation, so before I vote, I know what it is that I'm voting on.
Sure.
Is that possible that you could put that together? Because clearly you had a rationale for the way that you did this, right?
Yes.
Okay, that would be really
I'll
helpful
give you
for me.
a line-by-line explanation.
Thank you.
And then we'll give you any comments by the 22nd.
Yep, and I'll vote forward the budget at the next meeting in January. If there's no communications, moving forward to the forester's report.
Can I interrupt that, Mike, just with one comment?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that this commission is strictly 100% tree planting. And even with the numbers that everyone thinks that it's all about just tree planting. They don't realize that only 17% of the numbers that you guys did goes to tree planting. The rest, it's mandatory. If a tree comes down, if a guy has a complaint, you gotta do it.
Correct.
Because, but the public has to know, and I'm gonna push the council also with this, is that it's under 20%, less than, 20% that goes to tree planting. And you say, oh, 96,000, I understand, but you know something? A lot of it is repair, fertilization, people call up, a tree fell, on public property. My compliments to all you guys, the way you work with DPW, Mike and Robert and yourself. Dave, it's unbelievable, thank God that we have such a wonderful DPW. This number would be double and triple if it wouldn't be, and people have to know that. So I'm gonna, excuse the interruption, I'm gonna push that more to educate, because it was like, oh, 96,000, where are the trees? Well, only 17,000, because we didn't have any more left over, because we have to take care of the town.
Correct, so
So it's just, I wanna get that out there, and if someone in the council would call you or what have you,
Sure.
we should all be synchronized.
always available for the council.
But more important, we should all be synchronized and to educate them, because a lot of people really think, $96,000, why don't we have trees galore? And I'm like, well, we don't spend 96,000 on that, it's just, again, under 20%, 17.
Correct, and
So-
we did do.
I don't wanna take a lot of your time, and please,
No,
Dave,
no,
I
absolutely.
yield to Dave.
And that was just some of the areas, obviously, we were trying to do a little different this year, and we did spend 2x what the initial budget was on planting this year. We did plant 42 trees
And
this
my
year.
compliments that you're able to achieve that, and it's through hard work that you're able to minimize the outside work by, no offense, Dave, but by doing it internally, but still, that comes with a little bit of, bumps, because, they can only go so far, DPW. And
Yep.
we can't expect them to take care of every single organization in town,
Absolutely.
so, thank you.
Oh, man. I left two of the memos that I got late today at my office. Can I go get them?
We'll just have to hold
No,
it
what were
till
they, do you
January.
remember?
They're on here.
No, I didn't give you the one with the fertilizing the trees.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's on here though.
it's on here.
No, we'll still talk
Okay,
it
and you
through.
got the email.
Well, I
Okay.
got the, yeah, I have the emails.
We have the
Everyone else
email.
Got the
You
emails.
got, everybody got the email, and then the other one that came
Correct.
late. Okay, I apologize. Okay, thank
Not a
you.
problem.
No problem.
Go ahead, Dave.
All right, thanks. And Sal, by the way, thank you for that, I appreciate the work.
Thank
you
you.
did. And then.
Thank you for your valiant work.
Just on a side note, John is a pleasure to work with at DPW. I mean, he always will look at stuff first, if it's questionable, he can do it, or if not, we try to work together with each other. I think it makes both our lives easier, to do that, working together on those projects.
And Dave, I think your contract comes up end of the year, or is it,
I believe there's an extension.
or is it extension, I'll double,
I
we
believe.
have to
there's a-
double check.
I
It's
believe
through 26.
26, okay, good,
on that.
thank you.
Thank you. Memo 2586, 30 Winding Way. There's one oak tree that needs to be pruned, a bunch of dead limbs that are dropping. It's a 12 to 24 inch. 2587, 7 Hickory Drive. The maple in front has been dropping limbs. It's showing a lot of signs of decay. It should be removed, plus it's almost on top of the wires. It's a 12 to 24 inch removal, and it's a 12 to 24 inch stump as well in there. 2588, 145 Mountain Way. This fell in the backyard. DPW was gonna take care of it for the homeowner.
Yeah, so let me just make some clarification on this. When I went to this lot is also kind of aligned on an angle and has a very short back of the property measurement from the town tax map. There is town property there that's part of the floodplain for the creek that's right by it. This tree is a tree in the back of the property, which is the town property that fell, but it did not fall onto the actual homeowner's property itself. They were just kind of letting us know that something fell in a close vicinity of their property line.
So the DPW, there's nothing happening. The tree's just gonna stay there.
They're just gonna kind of flip it back into the woods.
So 2589 is Briarcliff Road. There's a tree at number 3 and at number 5. There's quite a bit of dead wood, these big mature pin oak trees that should be pruned out. So there's 36 plus on the pruning for each of those addresses. Going down the street, there's probably a few others that we should look at maybe next year, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with those streets. There's a lot of big mature oaks on those
Very
streets.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and there's quite a bit of deadwood in some of the others, so I think maybe next year,
Put
we can-
Briarcliff on the worksheet then?
if that works, yeah, we can put it on for
Yeah,
next year,
let's
if that works.
put it on the worksheet for next year.
Uh, 2590, 49 Sun Valley Way. This is actually in the back of the property along the brook. There's 2 trees that are dead that should be removed before they fall into the property. One is a 36 plus, and the other is a 12 to 24 inch. 2 removals, no stump grindings required back there.
I just want to add one thing to this. When myself and John from DPW went to review this with the homeowner, he did call John first. He will be planting trees along the brook on the opposite side to replant the area. So he was very pro replanting.
2591, Mike and I discussed some deep fertilization, about trying to finish up Speedwell Avenue. We did it last, I guess in the spring, we did Merchant Block area. And then some fertilizing along Route 53 in the Rotary Park by the sign there, by the train station. Just to try to maintain these, especially these evergreens. as well as the one on the corner of Sylvan and Mountain Way, to do that. So if we did all that fertilization, it was $5,357, and it's about 64 trees to be fertilized.
64.
64 trees?
64, I apologize.
I don't think I got this memo. Could you just go over where they are again, Dave? Sorry, I was listening, but it didn't register completely.
Oh, that's quite all right. So the pear trees along Speedwell,
Okay,
we did the Merchant Block area, and then we did some by Borough School.
you already done those.
We did those,
So in the spring, we started pretty much from the tail end of where the parking lot starts if you're coming down Grannis. All those trees were done in the spring, and then a few trees at the beginning of Speedwell were done, and the 3 trees in front of Borough School were done in the spring. This is to do the remainder of the boulevard.
yes, at the Boulevard, the tree that they put the lights on Sylvan and Mountain Way,
Mm-hmm.
that to be fertilized. And then jumping back to Speedwell, as you come under the underpass, as you go to Route 53 on the left where the rotary sign is,
Mm-hmm.
fertilizing all the evergreen trees. There's a bunch of hemlock spruces, and mostly pines and blue spruce in that park to be fertilized as well.
Okay, and what's the rationale for like them needing to be fertilized? Because they're kind of display trees and we want to keep them as healthy as long as possible, or what's the?
Well, yeah, I mean, that is one, and especially being where they are. I mean, like you said, they're on display,
Right.
they're key trees, they're in stress. And we know that area is complete
salt.
asphalt, so they're
Yeah.
struggling underneath. And as well as Speedwell Avenue, I mean, the trees are limited to where the roots are. So anything nourishment we can get them to keep them going.
Sure, sure.
And especially, you see tonight what it looks like, everything lit up, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
So-
And then, just one of the things I wanted to add, so with the fertilization, the product that's used lasts for 12 months. With all the fertilization that we've done this year, hitting every tree on the avenue, the Merchant Block, and now all these trees that are on like proud display, especially ones that are lit up for the holiday season, we've covered a majority of the fertilization that now we don't really need to touch this specific area all the way until 27. So.
And then 2592, this was the park rental for Court Road. I did not get a chance, I just got the memo this afternoon, so I've not had a chance to take a look at that. I believe DPW could probably take a look at it, or, you know, might be able to do most of it, you know, and I could always get together with John and we can walk it if need be. And I think that's everything that I
Just
had
a
as far as
question.
memos.
Is that area town property, or is that utility, or New Jersey Transit back there, that area?
No, that path is actually a paper street, put in by the borough owns that path, and we own property on both sides, actually, or have an easement. On the one side, we own the property on the Court Road side.
Okay.
Frank, thanks to you for buying that. from the state. You got there right in time for a developer.
And I would just like to add one thing, the tree at One Totten Way, well, that was hit or
Yes,
fell down.
that's the county tree.
So it was a county tree, but the county didn't think it was a tree, but we got help from Mr. Drusla, who showed it on the zoning map, that, you know, tax map, that it definitely is. So they sent a confirmation that they're gonna take the tree down, but they cannot tell me when.
Okay.
So, okay, so as long as you know that
Well, this is in the works and you have the paper
they
trail.
got approval.
Excellent. So, yes, that was everything I had on memos.
Okay, and then there's 2 worksheet items that were just kind of carry over. One is in regards to 7 Juniper that we've been talking to. Dave and I did meet with the homeowner, understanding his concern. We're gonna try to make everything right, and we're gonna prune the one large oak tree. So it's a 36 inch plus prune, which is 700. And then going back to 2564, One Oakwood Court, this is the lanternfly trees, Dave, that you sprayed. So the trees were sprayed. John and DPW can remove 2 of the 4 trees, and Dave, we're asking you to remove 2 of the other ones, and the removal of the 4 stumps. May I please have a motion to approve the forester's report?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Voice vote, all in favor. Motion carries.
Can I ask a question? This was after on the budget sheet I'm looking, but I think it was removed for the lanternfly grant. We had talked about if we need to spend that down, if we're gonna lose the money at the end of the year.
Okay, I was told that I had to take it off the budget. It has nothing to do with the shade tree. It's a grant that is for the lantern flies, and that's what I was told, and it has to be 0. The number that Edmonds put on it at the 3,500, which I put separate from the budget, but Anna said, no, technically, the budget, our budget has nothing to do with the lantern flies, the grant at all. So what will happen is I suppose if we do have it, Michael will go in, talk to Anna, or Dave will go in and talk to Anna, and that's how they plan to do it. But the grant has really nothing to do with the shade tree. That's what I was told. You can ask, Anna Thomas if you want, but that's what she told me.
So my concern isn't like whose jurisdiction it is or a power struggle. I just wanna make sure that if we have the money that and we have lanternfly trees, that we spend it. So that's all I care about.
But I think also it was the spraying of the trees, not taking the trees
It's
down.
to kill the lanternflies on the tree, not to
Not to take
take
the
them
tree,
down.
okay? That's what makes the difference. Am I correct?
No, you are correct, yeah, it's just for spraying the lanternfly and killing the actual Atlantis trees, but not removal of the trees.
Wait, so it is for taking down, for
No,
killing the
it's-
trees?
No, it's not.
It's not, so it just kills the flies, it doesn't kill the
Kills the
tree.
flies and the trees, but you cannot take the trees down with the grant.
Thanks, Dan. Hey, fine. We gotta find out how long the grant is still in existence.
Does it expire at the end of the year?
I didn't
No,
expire
so it's
last year,
I
and
believe there's one more year on it.
okay.
I'm not positive, but I
Well,
believe
then it's
it.
not, if there's another year, it's not a big deal, I just wanna make sure
Well,
that.
we should find some, Karen asked Anna.
I'll ask Anna.
How long ago?
So it's a rolling grant, to my understanding, based on the conversation, and I do believe there's one more year. That figure of the 37.5 that was in there, was just, okay.
So we don't have money, so
Whatever
we don't have any money, but is there money sitting there?
Whatever money is there, they have the money.
Yeah, we don't have
Okay,
any.
we don't have it. It has nothing to do with the shade tree. So it's brought to her attention and they use the money, but the grant money has nothing to do.
Who's the they that's using it?
I suppose the town, if, what occurs.
Is there another? So I just ask because, again, I don't care who uses it as long as it's getting used, if it's to be used, but our charge is that we're in charge of all shrubs and trees on municipal land. So if there's lantern flies on a tree on municipal land, in order for it to be sprayed, we should be able to
Yes.
at least ask for that. Maybe it's not part of our official budget, but
Right,
we should
but
be able
you-
to
but-
request
And
it.
that's what we're supposed to do.
And that's
you
what we
want.
did here, we got that money
Right.
from there.
But we don't know how much is left, but yeah, I mean.
That I'll find
It
out.
seems a little. Thanks, Karen, sorry, I know it's
No, it's
difficult,
okay.
you're
It's
always the
just that,
go-between,
like,
it's difficult.
No, because I asked the question, like, how much is left, and she said, well, it has nothing to do with the shade tree, so.
So there.
Okay, I'll still find it. I'll report back next month.
Before we move on to the next thing, I just wanna make a note here at the end of the year. Well, 2 things, actually. So we talked about the stump Mike and I talked about the stump on Glenbrook, I measured it. My tape measure said it's 12 feet in, so I believe it's not ours. The other thing is, this tree at 87 Sylvan that we keep talking about. Well, I was driving from dropping my kids off at school and I check on that tree every time I go around the corner. And the insulators that JCP&L put on, one of them has shifted down. It looks like on the bottom wire where they put an insulator, there's a clamp on the uphill end. I don't know why it's on the uphill end. I'm not a lineman, but I would think it would be on the downhill end, but it seems to be kind of holding it in place. But one of them has shifted completely off the tree. I spoke to this resident on the phone, so I feel like it's kind of my responsibility to make sure that this, that her concern is being addressed. I know we're trying to, but I think we need to follow up with JCP&L and say, hey, at the very least, if you're not gonna fix the pole, could you put the insulator back so that this woman doesn't have a third electrical fire on the tree in front of her house?
Perhaps you could speak to Bill Houston, who's head of public utilities. I'm sure he must have a number. Jersey
I'm happy to
Central
do that if the
better
commission wants me
than
to
us.
do that.
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I would,
Please
go ahead and do it.
I thought Mike had talked to the mayor and the mayor had a contact, so that's why I was trying to look through the chain of command.
So they both do. Obviously, as the head of the utilities division, yes, he has it as well. We've submitted that information to JCP&L. They could probably, at the end of the day, probably use a reminder, as they don't really tend to move on things very well.
No. I feel for the resident, I mean, she was very worried after the second time there was a fire there, and I don't blame her. I know it wasn't a large fire, but I would be nervous too.
It was a
If it
fire.
in front of my house, I would be nervous. Okay, I'll contact Bill. And then the other thing I just wanted to talk about is, I appreciate the work that DPW is doing, and this isn't about them. However, when I went to look at our figures on the takedowns for this year, I'm trying to look for where my notes are. There's a whole bunch of trees that DPW has taken down that aren't on that list. And I'm not blaming Karen for that, because I understand Karen's process to be that when there's a purchase order to Dave to take down a tree, that's when you put it on the list. But now that we're using DPW more, we don't have a process in place for also keeping a record of the trees that DPW takes down. So I didn't go through comprehensively, but I went through the minutes of at least 3 different months, and I found that, there were trees that had been taken down that were not on our list. And that doesn't include the trees that I asked about at the beginning of the year at Community Park. So I think that we need to figure out a system to keep accurate record of the trees that we're removing. So Mike, you and I believe, are in charge of the committee to do that, so I think that falls to us. So you and I should get together before next year and figure out how are we gonna do this? Do we need to make a spreadsheet? What do we need to do? Because as I've said before, I think it shouldn't be Karen's job. I think we should be keeping records of that.
But I could also put them on there,
We can give you access, sure.
right, and say DPW took the tree down, if that's what you want. If you want it,
Maybe the 3 of us need to talk and we just need to figure out a system,
Okay.
because I think that they've been doing more work for us and it's, but we need to have an accurate record of our removals.
okay.
Sure. I'll ensure that they're working on a tracking list, and then we'll convey a tracking list for us to have as well. Okay, as far as new business goes, there's the calendar here regarding meeting dates for 2026. The meeting date for January is the 12th at 5:30. I haven't asked for the commission to take into consideration that moving forward, because we can't make the change for January, but moving forward, the commission would be open to moving the meeting to 6:30 PM instead of 5:30 PM.
Oh, okay, so for now on, all right. The meeting here, the reorganization meeting.
Now, I
that is
understand
done.
that can't be moved,
Right.
but I'm saying
I
any,
can change it by notice, if you want it.
I wouldn't worry about the January one. I would start
It'll
with
work for you, wouldn't it, Rob?
Okay, so
I think
everybody
6:30
wants to
I think
change the
6:30
time
is
to
fine.
6:30.
6:30,
I think
please.
it's- now that-
Except for January.
Good?
Except for January, we'll keep as is, because
Okay,
to my understanding, when we
Post it.
approve the meeting dates for the full year, it counts from February through the following January.
Maybe we'll have a bigger public.
okay.
then.
Now, if everybody looks at December 2026, okay? What's happening here is nobody wants a meeting on December 21st. So in December, all the meetings are up a week. So that means the first meeting, the Shade Tree normally would have their meeting on the 7th.
Okay.
But that's planning board now and it's Board of Adjustment. So I checked the calendar and everything is okay, and if it's all right with everyone here, the Shade Tree have the meeting at, on Tuesday, okay? Would that be okay with
Well,
everyone?
let me check my calendar, of course.
All right.
I don't think that's
I
a
think
one-off
that's
like
fine.
that based on
I
how
know.
the month landed. I'm not
It's a
All
terribly.
right, it's just the way the month lands, okay?
Yeah, okay.
December 1st, fine.
So the only other thing I did want to talk through, just looking through this, obviously I know in August, there is no Shade Tree meeting. On this calendar, right now, there's nothing listed for July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. So my thought process on this is because we do have a gap, and the first Monday of July would be the
Oh,
6th.
Oh, yes, because I didn't know if it was a holiday.
If the office is
Oh.
I
really
didn't
open.
know.
So how about we fix that right away, and it's July 13th instead?
Okay,
This way it gives
well,
the,
I have to check because that might be the Board of Health.
oh, okay.
What, the Wednesday is probably more,
Oh, Wednesday, okay, then that's fine. Shade
The
Tree?
13th?
no, they might be Tuesday, I'll take it back.
Right,
You
okay,
better
but
check.
Shade Tree can be on that,
Monday, the
Monday.
13th.
13th.
Because to your point, there might, Monday, either Monday or Friday will be the holiday.
correct, you see, I didn't know when the holiday was gonna fall, so, okay, and nobody knows yet.
So I would just, for now, I would just pencil it for the 13th.
Well, okay. But if by chance it's gonna be the 6th we're open, you want it on the 6th?
Not really.
Yeah, I would still think, because there's
With
no August,
Vacations and everything?
yeah, just with no August meeting, giving us another week, and then
Okay.
having a little bit of a shorter gap, I think it's better for us to have ample time to take care of things.
Okay.
Okay, so then we just need to vote on the change from 5:30 to 6:30, starting in February, and the fact that July's meeting will be on the 13th.
Okay, and also,
Oh, and the Tuesday,
And
the one off
Tuesday in
Tuesday,
December,
and Tuesday in
July?
December.
yeah,
December.
in December,
December.
December 1st.
So do we need 3 separate votes?
Well, no, we'll just do a voice vote that everything is okay with the calendar, and then this will all be in the resolution. In,
Okay.
For 6:30.
6:30, the time will change and everything, and also all the dates will be in the resolution,
Okay,
So
okay?
moved.
okay.
Do we need it to be moved, or what, we do?
Yes, we
voice?
can move if you want,
So-
okay, so I'll put the dates. Okay, who wants, you do?
Sure.
Okay, and second,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, voice vote, motion carried.
And just one other thing I wanted to talk about. So, there's been some back and forth regarding just some of the grants. And I just, one of the things I just wanted to talk through. So, I know earlier on in the year, we had approved working on a forestry plan. Obviously, through the rest of this year, we have not done that, so that'll be something that'll be a top priority for 26. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and Sal, feel free to chime in here whenever you'd like with this.
Thank you.
There was a grant that was put forward to the council that was pulled. There was some questions on it. It is in regards to the NJDP grant for the Natural Climate Solutions. It's a forestry regeneration grant. We had put some work into this as far as coming up with locations and how we would work this out over a 3-year time period. So I would like to get this back onto the consent calendar and read forward at the council meeting on the 4th.
You guys direct me. I know you had some questions, Rob.
We talked about this last meeting, that it was gonna be circulated so we could look at it. It was never circulated. We haven't voted on it in here, we haven't discussed it, it hasn't been circulated. I'm happy to look at it, I said that last time, but I don't understand why it isn't being shown to us before it's going on the consent calendar. Is it?
It was voted though, we voted once
Oh
before
my
on it.
goodness, no, it was not.
And it's a
It is not.
chance to get $260,000.
Making my head hurt. We never voted on that, even Mike, did we ever vote on this grant?
No, we've just voted on the forestry management grant.
Do we need to vote on a grant before it goes in front of the council? Yes, okay,
That's your recommendation.
so we need to discuss it and vote on it, all right? I'm
Why-
happy to look at it.
Why would you have an objection to us applying for a grant?
That is not what I said, Mary Ann, and you know that very well.
No, I'm asking, because we could approve it now, I'm trying to get to where you're
It's a
You're
$260,000 grant.
correct.
Last meeting, Sal said there was an $80,000 outfront layout by the town.
Right?
No, there is none.
Okay, well, I'm not here or there, all I'm saying is I think that we should look at it before we vote on it.
Well,
It was
that's why
looked
I'm
at.
asking you,
Well,
what's
we
the
can take a
objection?
vote, the objection is that I wanna see something before I'm voting on it. You can't give it to me right now when we have 100
You
and
can
something
hold,
trees.
you can hold on to it and take a look at it if you have any other questions, but this is something that we're gonna lose out on, and
We're not gonna lose out on it, it's a rolling deadline. You guys are forcing something through.
no, nobody's forcing anything through.
Yes, you are.
No, but we're not. So, listen, most of these grants that we apply for anyway, we never get anyway. We don't fit certain criterias that these grants are normally for anyway. So if there's a chance to get something out of this, which we probably won't get anything anyway, might as well just push it through and see if something sticks.
I would be more than happy to take a look at the plan and vote on it in January. I have zero problem with that. I'm not against this grant, I've said that so many times, all right? I'm actually for us applying for the grant. But we need to have a discussion about what the application looks like before we vote on it. That's just common sense.
And I recall that we did have the grant in front of us. It was an inch thick, and we did. Mike went out and looked at the different spots for the trees. He put a lot of work into it. It wasn't just something that was dreamt up. I don't see why we wouldn't do it. I just don't see it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, is this the one that has the rolling application?
Correct.
So the idea is to get this approved now, hopefully over the council,
But
so
there's no
that.
deadline.
Correct, but the monies do get used up, which is why it came
100%.
back on to approve it now, because we don't want, if there's a likelihood that we can get any money, we don't wanna miss out on it because the grant was completely used up. So my recommendation is to move forward with it, to get it on the consent calendar for the council meeting.
I'm a firm no, since I haven't seen what it is.
So how do we?
We'll take a vote on it.
Can there be a motion to ask Councilman Cortez to, bring this to the council meeting on December 4th?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. This we're in, okay, Mrs. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Drusilla,
Yes.
Mr. Lombardi,
Yes.
Mr. McAleer,
No.
and Mrs. Stecker.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any other new business prior to the adjournment?
Yeah, I do actually have something, so, this just came across my desk, actually this afternoon. So I wanted to bring it up, to the attention. I wrote a statement about it because, it's, I think you'll see, it's about this conflict of interest with Dave as our arborist and, some ethics issues that some residents brought to me. And so I wanted to write it out to make sure that I was saying everything exactly right. Over the last year, I've been surprised at how many residents
I'm
watch.
sorry, can I just interrupt for a second? If we are talking about an individual, is this something that can be done in open?
It's not about an individual, I'm not making any accusations about him, it's about his role,
I just
The
don't.
chair has the
it's
jurisdiction.
about our process.
Okay, just one thing. Is this a letter from someone?
No, this is my statement,
Okay.
this is my statement about our process. If it would help you feel better, Marion, towards the end, I say, I want to be very clear, I'm not accusing Dave or Greenwood of
No,
having done
it's
anything
not about that,
unethical.
it's just it starts to get, we've been in situations before where some of the commentary starts getting about an individual versus the bigger thing, and Sal, I don't want us to run into a problem here at some point. So I don't know if this is something that we can be,
The chair have the right to let him open a comment if you feel that it's pertinent and helps the,
I can read my statement at the council meeting if I'm not allowed to read it here in public comment.
No, I was only questioning, like, no letters from any residents can ever be read.
It's not a letter, it's my statement.
Okay,
And I
that's
wrote it
different.
down because I'm trying to be very
Yeah,
careful
that's
to
what
not accuse Dave of anything. It's not about him, it's about the process and our process for making decisions about trees.
are you naming any residents in there or addresses?
No,
Okay. You said it came across your desk.
yeah, the issue came across my desk because, I'm happy to
From
talk
you,
about it
the
more.
issue from you, not a resident?
No, it's not a specific complaint that a resident had.
Oh.
It's been mentioned multiple times in this commission before, this issue.
Absolutely.
So if it's from, obviously, he's gonna make a statement on it, or looking to make a statement, but some of it is brought to his attention from residents while they're not gonna be named. Is this something that should even be discussed?
and I'm not a lawyer, but you're the chair and you're allowed to have people speak or stop them. You can stop me at any time, you can throw me out. This is you're the chairman. He's being a vice chair, he's saying that he has some, he wants to read his own statement, not hearsay. So,
Absolutely.
so if you wanna have you guys talk about it and allow that, it's up to you guys. I don't know if I see any harm here, or like he said, you can bring it up in the council level too if you wanted to.
I'd rather not, I'd rather
It's what you
discuss
guys
it
are
here with
comfortable
other
with.
people on the Shade Tree Commission, but if you don't allow me to read it here, then I will read it at the council meeting.
I don't have that jurisdiction.
No, I'm saying I will in public comment. Because I think it's something that needs to be addressed.
You guys were doing workshops, I think the last time we spoke, back in October, you and Michael. Has,
No, I had never heard about this, so I
okay,
don't know,
and
so.
that's the stuff that I told both you guys, and please, I'm not trying to,
I
was
understand.
trying to
so
get this stuff done before the meeting, and
I felt like I couldn't, because of the nature of this, I felt like I couldn't bring it.
I personally, Mr. Chairperson, I would prefer it to be brought up in council, because if there is a problem where we could get into a situation here, John Haran is there and could make a determination.
I'm a little confused, Marion, why you think that there's anything problematic. We
Because you
talk about,
said you
can I just
heard-
finish, and I'm happy to listen to you, I've been listening.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, Mike's decision is Mike's decision, but I haven't even started to read it yet, I don't understand what you're objecting
You
to.
did start to read it, and you said that residents have come to you, and this
But
has
residents come to us
from-
all the time,
I
and we
know.
talk about that.
It's
Why is
not-
this any different?
Because I am worried that you're putting the Shade Tree Commission in a predicament.
By what evidence are you worried?
Because you were talking about residents,
We talk about residents all the time.
I would.
Yeah, but for tree work,
For
this
tree
sounds
work,
like
this
it's.
This is about the tree work that we do
I-
and the process that we follow.
My
It's
personal.
been mentioned here before multiple times, it's been brought up at council meetings. I'm not saying anything that has not been stated before.
I'm not sure, I haven't heard it, Mr. Chairperson, my recommendation would be that it not be here, but, that's up to all of us to determine. It's my opinion.
I feel that you mentioned a couple times during the meeting that you have not seen it, you want to see it. I think that's something your colleagues would like to see your statement before you make it, and maybe they can judge whether this is something that an attorney should look at before you make the statement. That's
Okay,
just my
I'd be
feeling.
happy to read it at the council meeting if that's the case, if I'm not allowed here, but I'll defer to the
If
chair.
you do it at a council meeting, you do it at a, you can do whatever you want. I mean, I'm just saying, none of us have seen this. You wanna make sure, you keep always saying, I didn't see it, I didn't see it.
It's funny because the gist of the statement was that we should try to make sure we appear ethical, and I think suppressing discussion of an ethics issue is the opposite of appearing ethical.
Okay, so do you want me to make a copy and we'll take a little break and everybody read, look at it?
No, I don't think that's necessary. I feel like I'm in a hostile environment here because I haven't even been allowed to read the statement and I'm already being told I can't read it, so. Really Mike's decision.
Okay, I think it's up to you, Mr. Chair.
Why didn't you discuss this with Mike before the meeting? You usually talk.
I just got notice of this at 3:30 today.
Robert, if it involves you making a statement at the council meeting, I can only tell you if it involves a town employee, that town employee from my role knowledge has to be raced. And either comes to the meeting or has to know about it. If that's the
Understood.
route, I don't know what your statement
Yeah,
is.
I
Just-
understand,
just-
so thank you.
I don't
for
want you to
telling
come
me.
there and they're gonna say, stop. So
Okay.
just, you know what you have in your statement there, what it involves. So, maybe share that with, the chairman and the town attorney and, go from there. This way you don't waste your time.
Sure, I appreciate the advice, so.
Okay, based on that recommendation, we'll hold it.
Okay, I have another item for new business.
Sure.
I'm concerned about the way that we are doing our process for taking down our trees. Because I feel like it puts me in an ethically compromised position when I can't really make a qualified decision about tree work. So what I'd like for this commission to consider is the process for which by which we're doing our tree work. So it's been brought up a few times at council meeting, I saw at the budget, that one of the things that is problematic about this is that there's no separation between a consulting arborist and the work. So the arborist gets paid for the work that they're consulting on. So I would like to ask that we talk to the attorney about whether or not we could request that we get guidance from the local finance board about that issue. The local finance board is the ethics board that governs ethics complaints, and I spoke with them and they told me that they cannot give us any sort of advice on any current setup that we have, but that going forward in the future, if there's future contracts or bids for contracts, that they may be able to advise us on that. So I would like to make a motion that we talk to the attorney and see if that's something that we can do to get advice on the ethics of our current setup, to see if there's a conflict of interest.
I don't think you need a motion, you could talk to the council liaison and you guys can figure it out with the attorney.
What
I'd like
I
the
know is that
commission-
Doobie Trees, Dave's company, went out to bid the tree work, and he was the cheapest, and we gave him the contract. That helps in any way.
Right, I
It's
think
not
that
that we're just, you guys are choosing him, or the town's choosing him. He won that bid with the lowest.
right, so the
Price.
issue isn't with Greenwood Tree, the issue is with the process of the fact that we don't have separation between the recommendations, if we have a recommendation, and the person in the company, right? So if this were a one-off thing, this wouldn't be such a conflict. So for example, if you call a roofer and you say, hey, do I need a new roof? They're gonna make the recommendation that you need a roof, and then maybe they're also gonna get the bid. But when it's a continuing relationship, it seems to me that there's more of an ethical issue. So I'd like to say that the commission should ask for guidance on this.
Yeah, but Rob, we look at every single tree. It's not that Greenwood is going out on their own and just picking trees to do down. Every single member of this commission looks at every single tree, and which is why there's the worksheet and the list, and we go through it and we say yes or no, so how is that not a separation? I mean, we've talked
Are you
before-
qualified to make those decisions?
We talked about this before.
Have you
about
ever disputed the
putting
decision
things-
that Dave has made?
You're talking over me.
I know I am, because I'm trying to point out to you that we go in circles about this.
We have had a conversation before about new business coming onto the agenda. We discussed it, I think, if I'm not mistaken, about getting it on the agenda before we actually have the meeting. And I'm pretty sure we agreed that we were gonna put the line items on the agenda. So this, I think,
So,
deserves,
so it's okay if it's a grant application, we don't have to tell me we can put it on the agenda.
You know
But if I
what?
have
No,
something, it has
just-
to go on the
no.
agenda. Is
Listen,
that what I'm hearing?
every tree is not just reviewed by Dave. Everything is also reviewed by the head of our DPW, who is certified to look at trees as well. The decision does not strictly come from Dave. I've spent so much time this year looking at every single tree in this borough, whether it be with Dave or the continuous walkthroughs that I've done with our DPW department. There is no issue here.
If there's no issue, then why not just talk to the local finance board and confirm that, and then we can put to rest any of the people who think there is. I'm not saying there's
So
an
who's
issue
the local finance board?
necessarily, I'm saying I'm uncomfortable.
So what local finance board? The towns?
It's the state local finance board which governs ethics complaints. So, and anyone could make an anonymous complaint to them about our process at any time. People feel like we brought this up a number of times, it's not getting dealt with. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying that I think Dave's doing anything wrong. I don't even know that our process is unethical. I'm just saying I think we should check, because there's enough concern about this, why wouldn't we check? It doesn't look good for us not to check.
I would think that I know the attorney, the town attorney, draws up the contract. I don't think he would draw up a contract that had issues of ethics. So I think really the person you should speak to is the town attorney, and speak to him. He would make if he draws the contract, makes that decision, it goes out, we went out for bid, town went out for bid, and he draws those bids up. So I think that's where it is, let's face it, Rob, probably 75 to 80% of the things we do are because of calls from residents who have a dead tree in front of their house. When there are no leaves on the tree, it's dead, so that's what we do most of the time. Maybe there's a couple other things, but they are rare.
I don't understand the resistance to this issue, because it seems like it's like,
No, there's no resistance. Like
Why
I said,
can't- why
take it
can't we
up
just-
with the
why can't
council
we just
liaison
figure
and the
out-
attorney. Go ahead.
because I'm tired of this being hovering over our heads, all right? And maybe you guys don't see it as an issue, but I do. And it's very awkward, because I have no issue with Dave, I've told him that multiple times in person. But ethics matters about appearance, and if it looks like it's inappropriate, then that matters.
Keep
Okay, so
talking
like I
about it
said, go
individually.
ahead and have a conversation with our council liaison, and you guys could sit down with the borough attorney and then figure this out. No one's stopping you from doing that. Feel free to go ahead and take care of that.
I think the commission as a whole should do it, personally, but no one else has any interest in this besides me.
No, because I understand how our process works, and the process works fine.
Is John at DPW a certified arborist?
Certified arborist? No, he's had arborist training in multiple conferences and things like that.
Could he go and make a recommendation at someone's house as an arborist?
Listen, we're gonna just start
So
to
you-
argue
No,
over nothing
I'm not
here.
arguing, I'm
No,
trying to
but what I'm
point out
saying
to you
is
that
you have
Dave
to-
is the only one who is qualified to make those decisions. That is what the issue is. So the process is the problem. It's not that I don't understand the process is the problem.
Okay, like I said, speak with the council liaison, you guys could speak to the town attorney. That's it. I move a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
I don't know if we'll see anybody, but